Obasanjo criticized Tinubu as always, as usual, and the presidency knocked him down, knocked his comment down, and therefore they did it with a kind of level of disrespect. And it says, all right, the headline says it is his habit to attack past administration. Presidency knocks Obasanjo again. The presidency has slammed former President Olusegun Obasanjo for his condemnation of the Bola Tinubu administration's reforms, accusing the former leader of perpetuating a pattern of undermining successive governments. Obasanjo had on Sunday criticized Tinubu's reforms, claiming they have excavated hardship across the country. His comments sparked swift reactions from Tinubu's aides, with multiple responses issued within hours. Earlier on Monday, Special Advisor to the President on Public Communications and Orientation, Sunday Dare, described Obasanjo as a man with a tremendous capacity for mischief. In a separate statement, Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, swiped at Obasanjo for what he called a habitual tendency to cast aspersions on every administration after his own. And the news quoted Anonuga and the spokesperson. So I don't want to go into the quote. We basically have read the bottom line of the story of the news here. It's no longer news anyway. It's an old story. I just had to do it now. Barrister, successive government, obviously, of a true, Obasanjo have, like I said earlier, cultivated the habit of attacking successive governments since after his own regime, his administration. What do you make of this? It is true, actually, what they say, but has he always been right for criticizing all the successive governments that Obasanjo has been criticizing? Has he always been right doing that? Was he cogent? Was he factual in his criticism? Has he been? I think that's the right word. Has he been factual? Has he been objective in his criticism, or he's just being a grumpy old man?
Well, definitely, Obasanjo can never be a grumpy old man, as you put it. And let me say that the statement you just read is almost exactly word for word with the statement of the spokesman of Jonathan's government, of Buhari's government. It's like they are just picking the same statement to say, because the only difference is that in the past he used to write letters containing his criticism. He wrote letters during Yaradua, he wrote letters during Jonathan, he wrote letters during two letters during Buhari's regime. In Tinubu's government, he's yet to write a letter, but he has spoken. Although I know the letter will come later. I believe the letter will come later. The purpose Obasanjo make this statement and follows up with a written document for posterity's sake. Remember, he is already going into history, and history will judge him. Some of these things that you are talking now will form part of the judgment of history for him. It is idle to attack the messenger instead of the message. What he has said on successive occasions, whether from Jonathan, from Buhari, and now, is always aligns with the feelings and views of the ordinary Nigerians. The fact that you do not like Obasanjo does not mean that what he said has no merit. At every point in time, if you look at what he said in the past against previous government and what he said now, what aspect, was even one sentence of what he said now that is not correct? Nigerians have said worse than what Obasanjo has said. Even on this platform, we have said worse than against this government than what Obasanjo has said. So whatever he said usually is the truth. And instead of looking at it as a statesman giving advice, they have fashioned a discredit to him because of his successive complaints, his successive statements. I do not think that is the right approach. We have come to a situation in Nigeria where there should be, or a government should demonstrate seriousness. Whenever there is criticism, they should look at it dispassionately. If you want to challenge, reply on those issues in point by point. Let Nigerians be the judge. But don't dismiss it as, oh, this man has been making this thing. Why has he been making? There's reason for it. And I do not think any Nigerian will disagree with what he said, either now or before. So respond to what he said. Even if you do not believe in it, you have to know that Nigerians believe in it, believe in what he said, are feeling the pain of the policies of the government, and are not seeing the hope that these policies will transform their lives anytime in the future. So, do not throw the baby with the bathwater, and do not throw the messenger and the message all away. We should be able to separate the message from the messenger for the sake of the Nigerian people.
Now, let me ask you, before I make my comment on Obasanjo, his personality and his government when he was a president, my question is this: is it weakness for someone to admit to mistakes, or strength? Is it a weakness or strength for someone to admit a mistake or criticism, or to admit or to accept criticism? Let me use, I think that's the right word.
For a strong person, admitting your mistake is a form of strength. It's a sign of strength. But for a weak and vain person, definitely he cannot accept his mistakes.
Honestly, I agree with you 100%. And now, why I ask this question is because, just like you noted earlier, all the successive governments that Obasanjo criticized, their reaction, they all reacted the same way. And my point is, I don't get it. Why can't you really at least be bold enough to accept that criticism and respect this man as, okay, we have heard you. We will talk, we will do something about what either your recommendations or your advices or your criticism. We'll try our best. What will it take away other than it will even build confidence in the hearts of Nigerians that, okay, this person is listening, and at least for the government to be this humble, that means they are feeling our pains. But the moment people criticize you, especially the former president, somebody who is supposed to be the father, because Obasanjo, when you talk about the father of the nation, he epitomizes that, he symbolizes that, because this is the man that have ruled Nigeria on the two highest capacities, as a military head of state and as a civilian president. So that is just the reality. And this man is someone that is so when you listen to this man is so full of wisdom. He's a very intelligent, Obasanjo is a very, very intelligent man. Because anytime he opens his mouth, what comes out of his mouth is wisdom, knowledge. That is just the reality. So, Barrister, I don't know, what do you think? You just said it all, that it is weakness. But why can you help me to answer this question? Probably what you think may be behind it, behind this weakness from all the successive governments. Can you help me answer this question, that why can't they actually humble themselves and respect Obasanjo, accept the criticism that is obviously objective?
The reason why they cannot do it is because in terms of comparison, no administration after Obasanjo has or can measure by any measure of measurement near the performance in office of Obasanjo. Secondly, Obasanjo has earned the right to talk, to criticize. It's not coming from nowhere. He has a pedigree. He has earned the right, the stripes, to criticize the government. As you noted, he was a military head of state. He was a civilian head of state. He was a farmer. He lived in civilian life. He knows it all. He has seen what policies will work in Nigeria and what will not work. He knows those things. And he knows that the policies that these people have been carrying out will not bring succor to Nigeria. When they criticized him during Jonathan's time, the government did not, Nigerians were not better for it. When he was criticized during Buhari's time, the government, what did the government achieve after 8 years?
Yeah.
The conditions of Nigerians became worse.
Yeah.
And now he's criticizing and they are abusing him and saying all manner of things, but the conditions of Nigerians is becoming worse and worse and worse. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. So when you see or you pit yourself, a weak and vain person, like I said, against a very brilliant, strong person with strong mentality, they don't like to put themselves on the same pedestal. It would be a sign of strength to try to measure up to Obasanjo and say, look, we understand the criticism. You have been here before. You have seen it all. And we are here to serve the country. So we welcome criticism. We will try to see how we can modify our policies to improve Nigeria. You are, by saying that, you are bringing yourself on the same level with him, which they don't have the courage. They don't have the courage to do that. And they fear the Nigerian people. Because once you say that, Nigerians will begin to compare Obasanjo's regime with your own. So they are not courageous people. And secondly, they do not have the, how do I put it? They are not sincere and honest in governance. So it is only when you are sincere and honest that you can take the criticism of somebody like Obasanjo seriously and try to see how you can modify your policy. But when you are dishonest and insincere, the first reaction is to wave such thing aside and think that the people too will wave it aside, which is not always the case. A lot of Nigerians welcome Obasanjo's criticism because they know it is true. Even those who do not like him, they know what he's saying is true.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, Barrister. It's like you and I have the same. Honestly, we are in the spirit together because when I asked you that question, I didn't expect you actually. I didn't expect the answer you give because that's exactly what was on my mind, the reason behind it, and that leads me to the Obasanjo's administration. Just like you noted, honestly, since Obasanjo, no one, it is Yar'Adua that could have probably been able to do better than Obasanjo. Unfortunately, God didn't permit him to live longer because we saw light. Because, like you said earlier, that accepting mistake is strength. And accepting criticism as well is strength. That was exactly what Yar'Adua. He started on a good footing, good note. He started by first of all accepting the mistake of the election that led to him being the president. And thereafter, we saw his policies, how focused he was to actually bring Nigeria to a kind of a good a good, positive precipice. And that is it. But unfortunately, God did not allow him to live longer. Otherwise, I think he could have done better than Obasanjo. So put Yaradua aside, every other just like you noted, Obasanjo has outperformed all of them. His administration outperformed all of them put together. Honestly, I don't know why we do not accord Obasanjo the respect due to him. That man deserves Nigeria's respect. Just be far beyond respect. He deserves our honor. Prior to 1999, I didn't respect the Obasanjo as such. But after he left office, even while he was in the office, that man was, when you talk of a pan, he was a pan-Nigerian as a military, as a democratically elected president. He was a unifying factor. That man actually tried his best to keep the country together, even when his detractors tried to actually divide the country with this issue of Sharia issue. And I don't even know why politicians keep bashing that man, honestly. Just like you noted, that is just the reality. I think they are bashing him out of envy. They bash him. They disregard his criticism, disrespect him, because they just felt they either underperform or they are underperforming in comparison to his administration. And that is just I love that man, honestly. Like I said, anytime that man opens his mouth, it's just wisdom, and the man is just full of humility. The man is just living. When you see him, you just see that happiness. An old man that is living a happy old life. You see him look at his age. There was this function he attended sometime last 2 weeks, and he was giving the podium. When he got to the podium, I think either his note or something fell on the ground, and this man, I couldn't believe that this man is over 80 years. For him to bend down that fast, he bent down. You needed to see the swiftness at which he bent down to pick that, I think a paper or whatever, something fell down that belongs to him. The person that handed over the podium to him, I think was still around, wanted to pick that stuff for him in honor, at least as a sign of respect. Yet Obasanjo did that first before the young man. That man is just.
You only saw that one. You didn't see where he jumped from the dais to the ground.
Are you serious? I didn't see that.
I'm telling you, the height of this thing, he jumped to the ground at his age. Everybody marveled.
My God. I think it should be around 85, 83, 84. What's his age now?
Nobody really knows.
I think it is forget about his not his real age, even the document age. I think he's around between 85, 83 and 85.
87.
Wow.
87. Everybody knows that
he's older than that.
More than 90.
Yeah. Honestly, that man is so blessed.
I always tell people that whom God has blessed.
Honestly.
Do not criticize. The man, you can see, if you can talk of God's blessing on someone.
Yes.
You can see it live.
It's written all over him. Anytime
see it live in Obasanjo.
Honestly.
You can see it live. What has
he's just living a happy life and he just plays with everybody, plays with everything and whatever. That man is just.
Today he's not just a national statesman, he's an international statesman.
Course, yes. He's respected.
He has ruled as military head of state. He has ruled as a civilian president. He has children and wives. He is healthy. Very healthy and fit.
Yeah.
Look, do you know that as far back as when Obasanjo was military head of state, he had diabetes?
Are you serious?
Since he was military head of state, he had diabetes, and his best food is pounded yam and a good.
Wow! Are you serious?
which he eats virtually every day. And then you see the health that this man has, the strength of character,
honestly.
the mental strength.
That is it. Mental strength.
The physical strength. You see where this man is dancing?
Honestly,
you will not believe
of course I
that
would.
this man is 80 something and above. So
Oh
God has blessed this man. And when people begin to criticize him, you cannot come to the conclusion that they are envious.
Yeah, it is.
They are envious of his health. They are envious of his achievement. They are envious of his mental ability, intellectual ability, in every respect.
Honestly,
I believe history will be very kind, extremely kind to him.
Yeah, honestly, that man is respected now globally. He's respected globally, not for any reason, but for reason that is due to his ability to, the West does not respect corrupt people. So if they respect you, just like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, they respect her. Obi Ezekwesili, they respect her. Obasanjo, they respect him. You see, if they respect you, it means that is either you are incorruptible or you do not subscribe to the norm, the corrupt norm in the system. And that is just the reality. I don't know why, honestly, I don't know why. But Obasanjo, he has a lot of EFCCs to his credit, ICPC to his credit. Yes, ICPC, is it? No, Abacha, right? ICPC is Abacha.
No, it's Obasanjo. The two agents.
Okay, yes. Yeah. So that is just, honestly, it's just I don't know why they disrespect that man. That man is just people. We Nigerians, honestly, Nigeria do not. Honestly, we are not giving Obasanjo his due respect. Honestly, we are not. It's unfortunate, very very unfortunate.